I'm gonna say something that sounds dramatic, but I need you to understand it's real. I accidentally created a cardboard box ecosystem in my apartment, and it didn't happen overnight. That's the scary part. It was slow, quiet, sneaky, like mold, or a bad habit, or your screen time report. It started with one box. Just one, from an online order. A normal person would have broken it down immediately. A normal person would have been like, "Cool, got my stuff, box goes away." But I'm not a normal person. I'm the kind of person who looks at a box and thinks it has potential. Because in my mind, a cardboard box isn't trash. It's a resource. It's an option. It's future mez problem, but in a comforting way. Like, what if I need it? What if I move soon? What if I ship something? What if I become guy who returns things? What if I need a box for a mysterious box-related emergency? So I did what I always do with maybe useful objects. I set it aside. Not in a trash area, not in a "this is temporary" spot. I put it in what I like to call the "I'll deal with it later" corner, which is also known as the beginning of every personal downfall. Anyway, one box becomes two. Two becomes a small stack, and a small stack becomes architectural. Because now I'm not just storing boxes, I'm building something. I'm creating a structure. Like if you came over, you'd be like, "Oh, are you renovating?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm just failing gradually." Here's what nobody tells you about boxes. They multiply emotionally, because every time you order something online, you don't just get the item. You get the item plus a cardboard rectangle of guilt. And I order stuff online the way a lot of young adults do, which is, randomly, at night, with confidence I haven't earned. Like, I'll be in bed at 1:47 a.m. and my brain goes, "You know what would fix your life? A new charging cable." And then 3 days later, I'm standing in the doorway holding a box like, "Oh, cool, I forgot I did this." And instead of breaking the box down, I do the same thing. I add it to the corner, but wait, because then it becomes a system. Now I've got good boxes and bad boxes. Good boxes are sturdy. They have structure. They're the kind you could actually use for moving. They feel trustworthy. Bad boxes are flimsy, weird sizes. They're basically cardboard noodles. They can't be stacked. They can't be respected. So now I'm doing this insane mental classification like I'm running a warehouse. I'm like, okay, this is a prime box. This is a shoebox. This one is emotionally unstable, but could be a backup. At this point, I'm one step away from giving them names. And the worst part is, the boxes start to blend into the apartment's vibe. Like, you don't even notice them after a while, okay? They become furniture. A box stack can become a side table if you stop caring. A big box can become a chair if your standards collapse fast enough. Anyway, weeks go by, I'm living my life. I'm stepping around the box corner like it's a normal part of my home's geography. And then one day, I have to actually confront it because I'm trying to clean, or I'm trying to vacuum, or I'm trying to feel like a functional adult for 5 minutes. And I look at the corner and I realize something horrifying. The boxes aren't in a corner anymore. They have expanded. They've spread. The box corner has become the box area. And I don't know how to explain this without sounding insane, but it genuinely felt like the boxes were winning. Like I was in a slow war, and I didn't even know I'd enlisted. I walk over there, and it's taller than I remember. It's wider than I remember. It has layers. It's like sedimentary rock, but for bad decisions. And here's the emotional problem. To get rid of them, you have to break them down. Which means you have to commit. And commitment is hard when you've been living in maybe mode for months. 'Cause breaking down boxes is not just a task. It's an acceptance. It's you admitting, I am not moving soon. I am not shipping anything. I am not a person who returns things. I am just a guy with too many boxes. So I do what any responsible adult does. I ignore it for a little longer. Then, of course, life forces the issue. My friend texts me like, hey, I might stop by later. And suddenly, I'm looking around my apartment through the eyes of another human. And that is always a shock. Because when it's just you, your standards adjust quietly. You're like, this is fine. This is my lifestyle. But the moment someone else might enter your space, you panic. You start seeing everything like it's evidence. And the boxes are screaming. They're not just clutter. They're a statement. They're like, this man is one online sale away from becoming a hoarder. So now I have a deadline. And I go into full last-minute adult mode. I grab a box cutter. Not even a good one. One of those cheap ones that feels like it came free with anxiety. And I stand in front of the box pile like I'm about to fight a final boss. This is where it gets embarrassing, because I expect the boxes to go down easily. I'm like, I'll just slice, fold, stack, done. But no. These boxes are reinforced with tape that was engineered by NASA. Like, why is the tape stronger than the cardboard? Who made this decision? I try to cut through it, and it does that thing where the blade catches and then suddenly slides too far. And I almost cut my finger off. I'm about to die by box. I start sweating. Not because it's hard, but because I'm mad at myself. Also because the box pile is judging me. I'm cutting and folding and stacking, and the entire time I'm making these tiny frustrated noises like I'm a simmering kettle. And then, in the middle of it, I discover something that genuinely makes me stop. Behind the boxes, there's dust. Not normal dust. This is historical dust. This is dust that's been paying rent. It's a thick gray layer like the corner has been aging in secret. And I'm staring at it thinking, so this is what happens when you postpone things. They don't just stay the same, they evolve. Anyway, I keep going. I break down one box, and another box falls over, and then another. And suddenly, the pile shifts. And I swear to you, for half a second, it looked like it was moving on purpose. Like the box monster was reacting. Like it was going, no, don't. And my body flinches. Because my brain is childish and dramatic, and I'm in a battle mindset now. I'm like, all right, that's it, we're doing this. So I start working faster. I'm ripping tape. I'm flattening cardboard, stacking it into neat piles that immediately make me feel like a better person. My apartment starts looking bigger, brighter, like it can breathe again. And while I'm doing all this, I have this weird little emotional moment. Because it's not really about the boxes. It's about how easily little things become big things when you don't deal with them. It's about how I'll do it later quietly becomes I live like this now. And I think that's such a young adult experience. We're not lazy. Exactly. We're just tired. We're overstimulated. We're juggling a million little responsibilities, and our brains pick the easiest thing to postpone. Okay. And cardboard boxes are the perfect victim. They're quiet, they're patient, they don't smell, they don't complain, until they take over your living room. So I finally get the pile down to something manageable. I tie it up with twine like I'm bundling my shame, and I carry it outside. And this is the most important part. I walk to the recycling area, and I realize I'm not the only one. There are other stacks of boxes out there. Other people's box monsters. We're all out here pretending we're in control, while cardboard slowly builds a kingdom behind our couches. I drop my stack in the recycling, and I feel this tiny sense of victory. Not like I accomplished something huge, more like I regained 2% of my dignity. And when my friend comes over later, the corner is empty. There's space, there's air, there's peace. And I don't say anything about it, obviously, because I'm not trying to brag about doing the bare minimum. But inside, I'm like, yeah, I defeated the box monster. I am strong. And then, the next day, a package arrives. And I look at the new box. And I'm like, don't start. If you've got a box corner, or a chair made of boxes, or a stack you're emotionally attached to for no reason, tell me in the comments. I need proof I'm not the only person living in a low-budget cardboard documentary.